We are live. Sbtalksports, Sean Webb, real takes over fake debates. It is Friday, as you can tell. We were a little more lively today on Monday. Obviously, we are sponsored by Swift Energy. Go to swiftenergy.gg. That's why I'm up awake. I got it in my mug right here. And use code RTOFD to get 20% off your order. Sean, what's going on? How you feeling on this Friday?
Doing good, SB. How you doing, brother?
I'm doing good. Football coming with next week.
Thursday night.
Thursday night. So we go. I'm happy, man. Football is back. We got to do our predictions before the season go. We're gonna do it Friday. Today. Obviously, today, Friday. I've been waiting on this. So we got our predictions. It's a lot of things in the news that we got to talk about. We got to talk about Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter balled out yesterday, 3 touchdowns, and one of the most spectacular catches might be the catch of the year already, day one in college football. But we still got time. That's what college football is about. And crazy part about this, though, Sean, sometimes in the video game where I'm only saying this because I see a couple videos talk about this, like when NCAA came out, everybody was complaining like they don't tackle. Some players like look too good to play against other players. And honestly, what the video game world do sometimes, which is a good thing, when you play a certain sport, they make you go watch. And people who didn't ever watch college football watch like the Georgia Tech game. Sorry, bringing that up. No, wait, was it Florida State? Oh, it was your Florida State? Yeah,
okay. Yeah. We moved on. We were on to Boston College.
Sorry about that. And then also looking at this Colorado game, and they realized like, oh, maybe college football wasn't off track because people in college don't tackle as good as people in the NFL. Also, when you have that guy who is superior talented than other players and athletically, it shows. Like when you see Travis Hunter, and some people look at it like, bro, why is Travis Hunter still here? He needs to just go ahead and go to the next level. Or you see upsets happen like that. So I'm just happy to see that. And I'm happy that video gaming world get people to actually come watch the sport to understand the sport better. And then also we got KG and then the Magic Johnson and Anthony Edwards debate. But we just let's go ahead and start. A little sad. Sorry, Sean. We got breaking news. A Blue Jacket player has passed away. Sean, Johnny G of the Blue Jackets was killed in a hit and run. Well, I don't know if it was really a hit and run because I think they called the guy, but he was killed in an accident. Him and his brother, they was riding a bicycle and they got hit by a drunk driver. I want to hear your opinion on this, but before I give you my quick opinion, just condolences to him and his family. I'm sorry that things like this happen. People in the world, we have to be more responsible. We have to be more loving to each other in the world because one little simple mistake, one little simple thing that you could do can change the whole dynamic for another person's family. But Sean, what's your opinion on this, and what was your reaction to when you heard this news?
Certainly, condolences to their family. It wasn't just Johnny Gaudreau, but also his brother Matthew, his younger brother Matthew, was also killed. Very devastating for the family, certainly. And anytime again things like this happen, it does put life in perspective. But we don't generally talk hockey on here, SB, obviously, because it's just not a big sport for us and things. But for me, when I heard this story and obviously saw what happened, the biggest thing for me was I for the life of me, I don't understand why still in 2024 with ride sharing, with all sorts of services, why anybody's still getting behind the wheel when they are intoxicated to the degree that they can't drive. And apparently, this guy, who was being charged with, killing these 2 young men, he had like 6 beers before he got behind the wheel and had an open container in his vehicle. So, if we can't press anything upon you, if you go out and you're going to be drinking, please make advance, accommodations to make sure that you're not getting behind the wheel, because this does not have to happen, right? Yeah. We saw a situation not too long ago with Henry Ruggs, same thing, and it just bothered me that for the life of me, why people are still doing this in this day and age that we're in. So, that's really what is just a public service announcement. Please, don't drink and drive. We can say it till we're blue in the face, but you're not just putting your life in danger, but somebody else's life in danger potentially. And this is the level of tragedy you deal with in those situations.
Yeah, you hit it right on the head, brother. Prayers to Johnny G's, the Gaudreau family. I think everybody, even if how you feel strongly opinionated about the situation, just give a family a respect to privacy and just show them love, because like I said, one person's mistake can be another person's tragedy. And now this guy got to probably live his life behind bars for the rest of the year. I mean, rest of his life, because of one mistake that could have been done better. Like you said, even you drunk 6 before and leave an open container. Like, come on, man, you just blunt with it. But we don't want it's Friday. We want the whole show to be down, but we have to start off that respect. Let's go. I know we do NFL predictions, Sean. I know we did. But I feel like once we get into our predictions, we're going to go lock in. So let's go ahead and knock down the list of stories that we need to lock down first, and we'll get to the point. And the first point of the story is this. Steph Curry. We're going to do basketball first, guys, but everybody else ready for the NFL predictions to see where we got. Me and Sean got your team at. Yeah, if you're a Giants fan, I'm going to let you know now, y'all finishing last on my division list. I can let you know that right now. But Steph Curry signs a $62.6 million one-year contract extension with the Warriors. He was also quoted and said, "It's still about winning." Before you even go, Sean, that's cap. When I seen that quote, I said, "Cap, brother. Look, we know y'all not finna win. Y'all could probably be a play-in team off the strength of you, because how great of a player you are, Steph Curry. But we know it's still not about winning with you. It's not about winning, because it's nothing you can't control. But I'm glad this happened." And Sean, when I sent you this, you text me and said, "I'm glad this happened, because we can stop hearing Lakers fans saying that Steph Curry coming to the Lakers." Steph Curry wasn't coming to the Lakers. If anything, if that trade was to go down, LeBron would have went to the Warriors. But good for Steph. I feel like this is that year extension for thank you for your services. We appreciate you. You a legend. Here's a big payday. So that's all it is, which I'm happy to see teams do that, because there's a lot of teams that have done that before with a lot of players who should have never been in another jersey, or they should have got a thank you for your services. Here's a big payday. So I'm glad to see Steph getting that.
So let me ask you something, SB, because I was thinking about this after you sent me the story. Is Steph the most loyal player in NBA history?
No, Tim Duncan is.
You say Tim Duncan?
For sure, Tim Duncan. Dirk, because Dirk took a pay cut twice to stay with the Mavericks, even though Mark Cuban tried to trade him and tell him to go chase the championship. He told him no.
Yeah. So it's I think the thing for me anyway, thinking about it was Tim Duncan did, think seriously about going to Orlando. Obviously we know he didn't, and he stayed in San Antonio. We know what happened. But it was thinking about, like, when you think about Steph, like Steve Kerr has called Steph the Tim Duncan of this generation. And I think this is why he is considered the Tim Duncan of this generation. Certainly Dirk, as well. But just the whole thing of there's always going to be something special about a guy or a lady who plays their entire career in one uniform, given how much players jump around and things like that. And some of that is the business of sports. They don't have a choice. Some of it is ego, some of it is just teams want to go in different directions. We understand that. But to have a guy who basically is saying, "I'm going to play my entire career in this one uniform," to me is very, very special. So I'm glad he did it. And again, I'm glad we don't have to hear no more.
Thank God.
Thank you. It was getting a little ridiculous. I'll just say that.
I agree it was getting a little bit ridiculous. And then Lakers fans are so out the loop, they didn't even realize like y'all wasn't getting Steph. The trade was to send LeBron there the whole time. And all y'all making these thumbnails, memes, Steph look good in the Lakers jersey. No. Rich Paul literally exposed it. And it's crazy how, like, Sean, which is about Lakers fans, where they push everything, like anything about somebody because they push it heavily. But when Rich Paul came out and said, I stopped LeBron from going to the Warriors, I ain't seen not one Lakers fan really talk about it like heavily. Everybody skipped over that story because they wasn't what they wanted to hear. But no, with the stuff with the loyalty thing though, I actually do like it because at the end of the day, like I can understand why Bron left. I can understand why KD left. You know what I'm saying? Because the team you with is not bettering you as a player for KD point. The LeBron situation, the team you with is not putting you in the best way to win a championship. So you have to go somewhere else, win, or you have to figure out, learn how to win. Steph literally figured it out, and the team built the team perfectly around him, and they won. So it's like, why am I leaving now? It's like, I've won multiple championships. I broke all the records here. What satisfaction I'm going to get for leaving? Because Steph is like, it ain't like Steph like just turning like 30 or 28, 29. He's only got like 3 more years left in him too. Maybe 5 because his ability to shoot the ball and become a role player. Then you got to think about it. Him and what's his wife's name? Alicia, Miss. I'm gonna just say Miss Curry. I don't know her name. I know his name's like on top of the head. They done built their family so big back to back. Steph Curry having a baby every other 2 years. Who want to move? You know how many kids and you transfers you got to do? No, I ain't going. I'm staying right here in San Fran, and we gonna be cool. Steph Curry got about like 7 of them, bro. He ain't finna. No, you know how many kids you got to transfer, and then he's so late in his career and so established in San Fran that he probably wouldn't even let his family leave. He'd say just stay in San Francisco. You know what I'm saying? So who want to be separated from his family? Like everybody had this mindset like this NBA 2K where we could just go play for another team. No, I have a whole life. I got a whole wife and kids I still got to take care of. You know, so it's a lot of things people got to think about. But like I said, I'm glad it ended. So I know I know he got like 4. I guessed the number, but Steph probably gonna have about like 7. I ain't gonna load you.
Yeah, and also, you know, just shout out to Steph for doing it the way he's doing it. He ain't Cam Newton, he ain't Nick Cannon, you know, out here creating all these broken homes. So, you know, but that's another conversation. But no, yeah, I mean, listen, you know, a lot of it is where you're comfortable, where you are, you love being where you are, you know, the grass ain't always greener, right? So, you know, and that sometimes factors in as well. But to the point that you brought up, SB, sometimes it is a family decision. Sometimes it is a, hey, you know, let's stay here. We're good here. We get it, you know. And so, you know, not a shocker he did it. And again, I don't know if the Warriors will make another move. If they are in a position to make another move, salute Go James Kingdom. But we'll see. You know, obviously with that ownership group, because they, you know, don't mind spending traditionally. I think after this year, we might see them be in a position where they say, okay, we take a break from paying all these luxury taxes. Now we're willing to go back out there in the market and see what we can bring in.
And a lot of people who not like don't understand. I ain't gonna say not smart. I won't disrespect nobody. A lot of people don't understand that point too. Like when you had a championship team and you paying a lot of money, that luxury tax add up at some point. You gotta catch up on them taxes. It's like Uncle Sam, you got to catch up on it at some point in time. So now they just say, look, while we overspend and put ourselves in a deeper hole, if there's no move or we can make right now to compete, so let's just go and take care of our main guy and then let the rest go.
Exactly. And also the last thing, SB, his value to the franchise is immense. It's immense. So the $62.6 million extension they signed him to is really a bargain when you look at his value to that franchise. Very similar to LeBron's value to whatever franchise he's on. It's that legit and it's that serious.
Ain't nobody coming to see Draymond, Sean. We got to see Steph. You hit that right on the head, brother. Steph was not leaving. Lakers fans are, yeah. Nah, the only thing LeBron was going to the Warriors. I ain't gonna lie, LeBron in the Warriors jersey probably would look disgusting, just as bad as like. Because Steph said if he was to ever leave the Warriors, he only want to play for Charlotte. I see Steph in the Charlotte jersey probably be atrocious. Steph should play. Let's get more players to play in only one jersey. It's cool. It's cool to stay on. Everybody don't have to be KD and Bron because their situation is understandable. But if you're in a good situation to win, bro, just stay with you. But speaking of like Bron, KD leaving stuff for legacy, Kevin Garnett had to say a lot because this is another guy who left late in his career who was in the Minnesota Timberwolves, went to Boston, made a big three, got a championship out of that situation. Ant-Man and Magic, we talked about last episode. If you want to see that segment, I definitely broke it down. The video was there. Check out the video. Or also just rewatch the live stream. Either one, we would definitely appreciate it. Both and like and comment on that. So Ant-Man and Magic was beefing because Ant-Man said, I didn't watch it, but from what I have seen, Jordan was on the person with skill. That Magic complained, said, I'm not talking about with a championship. KG kind of ended the NBA era's argument once and for all, where pretty much Sean, to quote a couple things that he said, he pretty much was talking about how like the younger guys couldn't play in the era today because of the abilities and the rule changes that they have. And I'm going to give you exactly what he said. Garnett said in the most recent episode of The Ticket and the Truth 20 years ago, bro, you couldn't get a triple step back. You hear what I'm saying to you? You couldn't get a triple step back. And then if you shot that shot and they go in, KG be talking crazy. It's the S word, so I'm trying to skip over the S word. If you shot that bleep, it had to go in. You know why? Because we had efficiency back in the day, my dude, and it was effing hard. That was one quote that he said. So what you think about that one first? Because he said, with pretty much like I took it as like this generation, y'all got the ultimate green light. He also brought the fact that they dribbled the air out the ball. And he's saying like the shots that they taking nowadays where back in the day, if you missed that shot, you probably was going to get violated by the coach for that one. You going to the bench, triple step back. So what was your take on that first part of it?
I don't disagree. I think what happens sometimes when we talk about evolution is, and again, just in anything, the greater emphasis has become individual development probably more than it's ever been. So yeah, there's an expectation where you expect guys in this generation to be more skilled because there's an emphasis on individual development more than anything. Now, where I will always argue is in a team sport, it can't just be individual development. It's got to be individual development, but also in the course of what it is a team is trying to accomplish. There's nothing worse than playing with someone who they can shoot, but that's all they do. And so the ball comes to them, and that's all they do. That's it. It's
shoot.
It's literally. You remember the Boondocks? There was an episode of the Boondocks called Ballin', where Riley was, hooping, and Riley could do all this stuff individually. He had handles, he had all this other stuff, but when it came time to get on the floor with the team, he had no idea.
When he had to shoot that ball too, he was trash.
Exactly. So there's a team element to this thing that we can't ever lose sight of. And I think that's what happens sometimes is we get so wrapped in he's got a bag. Well, does the bag help the team? Because if the bag of groceries don't help the team, then throw the groceries in the trash.
Pretty much. Yeah.
And because again, at the end of the day, it's not when they raise a banner, the banner is the world champion or NBA champion, not individual player, but whatever team that is. So that's where we can't get lost in this whole thing. But yeah, you do expect, with skill development and individual skill development, that guys are going to be more skilled. But like you said, and KG even said, guys have the freedom and the green light more to do that type of stuff. That's the other difference. Because again, like you said, back in the day, you take some of these, you take, triple step backs and Britt, come sit down.
Get him out of there. He wilding. What type of shot is that?
Go in for so-and-so. Like, no, we're not doing that.
And then when, for me with this situation, which I do hate because it just end up coming just like, I'm better than you because disrespect error, because people don't acknowledge the rule changes that help these players now, because it was another quote, and this was one I was like looking for, but this article only got the physical one ability and the one I just told you about, like taking the bad shots. But KG also brought up how David Stern and them guys changed the rules so it could be more scoring and more offense to make it more appealing to the casual fans, which they did. Because he's like, you go back and look at like some of the final scores or some of the low scoring things. They opened up the rule book for that. He was like, no, we got to do something different. Like, when you look at what they tried to make the 3-point shot close in the 90s or in the early 2000s, which I still think is the greatest era of basketball. Street ball was popular. You know what they made the carry? They made it. You can do back at a certain point in time. If you did like this with the ball and you wasn't shooting, it was going down the other side of the ball. If you didn't do certain steps straight forward, like it wasn't no sideways step in. It wasn't really step backs like that. They're going to make it rule the other way. So also sometimes people got to realize that it's not that the players wasn't skilled. They were just maybe just following the rules. And a lot of people don't get that, especially in this era. If you get more freedom to play how you play, and I think, Sean, we talked about this like the last show, like I done seen people like watch play. I wasn't on the court with them. I ain't good enough. I done seen people who were good enough to play professionally or close to it play. And you probably have seen them play with a team or played in a league, and they were just like a catch and shoot guy, or they just a defender. They go out here and play open runs, and they could just got freedom to play how they want to play. They'll be tough. People look at Patrick Beverly, and I'm from West Side Chicago, same town. Patrick Beverly is just a straight defensive guy. I'm sorry to tell y'all this. In high school, Patrick Beverly led the nation in scoring. Patrick Beverly was a dog, a bucket. It literally went to a higher level and had to play a role on the team. And that's just a part of the game that people don't understand. But also, Sean, I want your opinion on the second quote, because this is about the physicality.
Sure.
Say what I would believe today. Where quote? Okay. KG said it was too physical, and guess what? The league had to come off of it. Oh, this is the quote I was talking about. Boom. This is his quote. What I'm just talking about. KG said it was too physical, and guess what? The league had to come off of it for the flow of movement to be able to have the scoring up, which is why we like to sit here and watch kind of a rat race of a high-paced game right now. That's the quote I was just talking about right there. I thought this was the other one where he was talking. He had the other quote. I'm just saying because I thought it was a different quote. The other quote he was talking about pretty much like how the game was more physical, how you can hand check. Also how the players was more mature, where you actually had real vets who hold rookies accountable, wasn't no cell phones. Also, you had to literally run the offense of the coaches, or you had legit consequences when they came in during the league. And it's physical from the point of where you had to play hard. Ain't no that you the star player and you not diving on the floor for the ball. You getting bleeped out. So that was the other quote where he was talking about like the physicality and the mentality of like the flow and freedom that the players got today, which the players need to acknowledge of the old era too. Like KG had to crawl for a lot of these players to walk today, to run today because of that. But I want your opinion on both quotes, honestly. I'm sorry I mixed the quote up. I thought that was the second quote. I thought that was the quote. I was talking about the second quote.
No, you fine, SB. So yeah, to the physicality point, yeah, they did want to open the game up because it became more physical. But part of what was happening with some of the physicality was you were having, I think, more altercations. And when you're trying to sell a television product that's based on entertainment, having a game where it's so physical that it's a bunch of altercations, and that, again, we don't have to talk about, the Malice in the Palace and some of these other things that happened, back then when it was an incredibly physical game. And And if you watch that game before everything kind of jumps off late in the fourth quarter, it was a very physical game. Detroit and Indiana were two of your more physical teams at that time, and they both understood they were trying to send messages because both teams are fighting, thinking and believing that they are legit. Detroit is the defending champs. Indiana believes they're a championship contender. They're fighting, like that. That's why, it ratchets up to that level. So, yeah, taking out some of the physicality did matter, right? It did help. But there's another point he brought up. And again, KG is unique, obviously, because KG was in this new era, was the one who opened the floodgates for guys to come right out of high school into the NBA, right? We know there were guys who had done it previously, but it was in the new era was Kevin Garnett. The value of guys skipping college to go into the NBA for their careers ultimately was great, but there's a step that some of them were missing, right? For as great as Michael Jordan was, and we know Michael Jordan, obviously, from a lot of people, is the GOAT, whatever. At North Carolina, he played in a system.
Yes, he did.
And that system, it wasn't Michael Jordan averaging 35, 40 points a game. He played in the system, and you played in Dean Smith's system. So that mattered, right? You had to know how to play within the system. Now, he got to the Chicago, needed to do more to help the Bulls because the Bulls just weren't very good at the time. Obviously, when you're picking third, probably not that good. So everybody said, why didn't you do this in North Carolina? Because he was in North Carolina with Dean Smith.
Under Dean he played with James Worthy too.
Played with James Worthy and Sam Perkins and some all-time great players. And you play the way Dean Smith wants you to play. That's the way it works. So there's that part of it too. So I think there's a lot of things that have factored in to why we've gotten to where we've gotten. What I don't like and what I don't particularly care for is I don't like the younger generation, disrespecting the old heads. And I don't like the old heads not embracing that this is where the game is. There's got to be some understanding that, okay, hey, this is where the game is. This is where it is now. It doesn't mean that the old heads can't bring value and say, hey, listen, for this team to be where they want to be, they need to be better defensively. We understand that. I don't think you can win a championship just run up and down the court and not playing any defense, right? Right. I don't think you win a championship if you can't rebound the basketball. I don't think you can win a championship if you don't have guys who are stars in their roles and do the little things that help you win games night in and night out. So that stuff matters. But I think what I don't want to see and what I want to continue to see is the back and forth, the generational back and forth. There's no value in it. There's no value in it.
Sean, you hit everything point on the head. You hit it right on the head. Let me know what you guys think about that too, man. And also, KG was the only person that I've seen that had like a take on both sides and embraced the youth, because he literally said, I love how they play in the day too, but this what y'all need to understand. And he said, and Keith Smith was at USC.
Yeah. All right.
Yeah, we're gonna compare him to. But let me know what you guys think about it.
1 year. Doesn't matter.
It was 1 year. But I mean, he was there though, barely, but he was there. But obviously the NBA is not here yet, but it's coming soon. So, and also one last question though, Sean, before we switch up this. Do you don't think it's kind of annoying that the NBA is like the only sport where we go through this with the old generation beef with the new generation? I don't think there's no other sport. Am I wrong? If I'm wrong, tell me.
Not to this degree, no.
Yeah, it's like I don't see with football, baseball, hockey, golf, wrestling, and wrestling entertainment. I don't really see it with wrestling.
Yeah, so not to this degree. Yeah,
we got to get together, NBA. But we got to switch over to the grid. I obviously got NFL predictions coming up, but I have to bring this up because I seen something amazing yesterday. Travis Hunter is the truth. Shedeur Sanders is nice too. We're going to see how the rest of the season go, but talent-wise, looking like a top 5 prospect. Unless I see somebody else, I'm not going to lie. Travis Hunter might – he wanted to pick a side of the ball to play on, but Travis Hunter might go 1, 2, or 3, right? But the problem is Travis Hunter played both sides of the ball. And a Hall of Famer, one of the best players at his position, had some advice for Travis Hunter, and that is the Champ Bailey about him playing both sides of the ball. He said he honestly needs to pick one because there's no benefits of playing both sides of the ball. Long story short. And I don't know what Travis should do because he is excellent as a wide receiver. He is excellent as a DB. Champ Bailey in college was excellent on both sides of the ball also. So if anybody has the expertise advice on that, it will be him. But first of all, I don't know if you caught the Colorado game.
I did.
What was your reaction to Travis Hunter's performance? 3 touchdowns. And that last catch was ridiculous. That was a pro-level type catch. Clearly a penalty. They didn't call it because he just – I understand why they didn't throw the flag because if I was there live and I seen that catch, I'd have been looking like, oh, okay, yeah, this kid the real deal. But what was your reaction to Travis Hunter performance? And what's your reaction to Champ Bailey pretty much like giving him the advice to don't go for trying to play two-way in the NFL?
So I think it's 2 things. Number one, college is not the NFL, right? It's some really good players in college. Obviously we were talking based on one game last night against North Dakota State, who's not a slouch, by the way. They're no slouch, but even the broadcast said it last night, they don't have a lot of NFL talent on that team. It's not like, playing against, Alabama or Ohio State or, USC. It's not like playing against those schools. Travis Hunter is an outstanding football player. I have no doubt whatever he decides to do that he will do well with it. Now, to Champ Bailey's point, I think there are a couple of things people really have to understand. Number one, in the NFL, you have essentially positional meetings. You have defense meetings. You have offensive meetings. You have special teams meetings. So it's a lot of different things, and you're in those meetings pretty much throughout the week when you're, not practicing on the field, practicing, right? My belief with Travis Hunter is that he will probably have to choose at least one position. If he chooses corner, it doesn't mean that they can't get him some plays at receiver, get him a package of plays, a couple plays a game. But I think it's going to be, where does he go and where do they need him most? Now, he won't be the first pick of the draft. Let's get that out of the way right now.
Who you got?
The reason why he won't be the first pick of the draft is the last non-quarterback pass rusher or offensive tackle who was taken as the first pick of the draft was Keyshawn Johnson in 1996.
Yeah, that's a long time.
So you just look at how teams value positions. If they have the first pick of the draft, it's going to be a quarterback, an offensive tackle, or a pass rusher, and then usually an edge rusher, right? Yeah. That's the NFL today. So it doesn't mean he won't be a high pick, but where does he go and what do they need him to do? And where are scouts saying? So I think it's going to be a real evaluation. Champ Bailey, obviously played two-way, like you said. Charles Woodson played two-way in college as well.
Dog. And then, hold on, because I had clicked off of it, but I had pulled it back up. Like he was going, I want you. I'll forget the exact quote exactly, word for word verbatim, because he was on the Dominique Foxworth show. They asked him the value of it. He said, a two-way position in the NFL. He said, no value. Focus on one thing. It's extremely hard to play both ways. Now, you could be a special play type of guy in a run of you. Okay, that's fine. But do not try to do both at a high level. Don't try to be Justin Jefferson and Pastor Tam. You better pick one, but you're going to get exposed. I mean, like I said, guys today are bigger, faster, stronger. When I played, I was in the same boat, but I could have been drafted as a receiver or a corner, which is the same for Travis. But I'm glad I chose what I chose and stuck with it. And then just a few plays here and there throughout my career. That's what he should be shooting for. Don't try to do everything.
And he's also got a great example of that right there at Colorado. Deion Sanders. Deion Sanders was a corner, obviously, arguably considered the greatest corner ever, cover corner ever. Mm-hmm. But he was also someone that on some teams they would get him like 2 or 3 plays on offense. Mm-hmm. The key was find unique ways to get the ball in his hands. So they use him as a kick returner, they use him as a punt returner. Mm-hmm. So that to me is it's not going to be about position. It's going to be, can this team find unique ways to use him outside of whatever position he decides to play? And that to me is the biggest thing.
Yeah, and then for only problem that I have for him, if Trav pick corner, and then they do special plays on receivers, it's just like he gonna be a wanted man, because as soon as I see Travis on the field, 8 times out of 10, the ball might be going to him. But like you said, you got to use special ways to give him the ball. I definitely agree with Champ, though, only from the point of perspective, like players being bigger, stronger, faster, and health-wise. So that's what I'm more concerned with. Do he have the ability to play both sides? Yes. Do he have the talent? Yes. I can't deny that at all. But Champ gave him great advice. Now, the question is, should Travis Hunter play 2 in the NFL? For me, my answer is no, for health concerns, because I can't see you trying to tackle A.J. Brown one play, then the next play you trying to get open on the other side of the ball, or you go end up getting tackled by one of the big linemen or the D tackle, then try to come back, try to defend again, back and forth. That's not going to work in your best interest of your health. And Travis, very talented, but kind of small, because but he's just he got to put, like, if you gonna do that, he got to be like, only person I could think like possibly make that happen. You got to be like DK Metcalf, LeBron James type built body. Like, you ain't gonna do that as the regular size person. You got to be like a freak athlete, shouldn't be on the human earth, Brock Lesnar type built type of person. But yeah, should he play consistently? No, but I would like a special package or two. What about you?
Yeah, and that's the thing for me. I would say, again, depending on the team he goes to, I would think for me it would be, well, here's your position, but let's find some other ways, unique ways to use you. But it's not going to be one of these where you're playing 50 snaps on offense and 45 on defense. Yeah, that is not happening. And I think that's Champ's point. And that's even I saw C.J. Gardner-Johnson talked about it. He was like, hey, listen, Travis is a really good player, but up here, it's a different animal. And, and also when you think about it from just a team perspective and a game planning perspective, a lot of times you're building game plans around who you have available on what side of the ball, right? So if, to your point, SB, if Travis goes out at receiver and gets knocked out of the game, but he's the team's starting corner and he's expected to be the team's number 1 corner and he's out of the game, that changes the entire defensive game plan depending on, what they were trying to do that week. So that's another thing that, I think people have to really kind of realize, yeah, it's nice in theory. It's a lovely video game thing to play with, but it's probably just not a reality at the next level, not full-time, 2-way.
I 100% agree with that. And you know what's something that's not a reality that will happen? That Jerry Jones will stop saying dumb stuff in me. Because we can all agree, Sean, in which you already call him the Kanye West of the NFL. It got to the point with Dak, and I'm not going to even keep up with the next quote. I just wanted to talk about what Dak literally said. Dak said, I stopped listening to what Jerry Jones said to the media a long time ago. That's bad. That is bad. I'm sorry. When your starting quarterback know that you just go out there and say anything ridiculous for clicks, which is crazy for him being a very old guy, that he'd have figured out, like, I'm just say something to get clipped up so y'all can react and talk about my team. Marketing genius. But yeah, what does that say when your starting quarterback don't want to listen to the owner?
it says the starting quarterback knows he's got all the leverage in the world.
Mm-hmm.
Right? They can't franchise him because if they franchise him, it'll cost them like $80 million next season.
Yeah.
Right? So that's one. He has a no trade clause, so they can't trade him and get something for him. Right? If he's not on the team next year, it's a $40 million dead cap hit against the Cowboys.
Oh, Lord.
Right? If he's not on the team. So he knows he has all the leverage. He can say whatever he wants at this point. He can say yippee-ki-yay, yippee-yay, and there's nothing the Cowboys can do about it. Nothing.
I just think Jerry Jones, when he brought up a situation, was it a couple quotes ago? How can he say days? Couple quotes ago, because he just says all the time where he said, "It's nobody better else for the GM job than me." When you put yourself in a bad position where you got three of your starters, your three of your best players all up at the same time, one of your players you can't franchise tag, and if he leave, you go hit a dead cap hit. You need to hire somebody to do that job because you're clearly not looking at it. It's nobody better to be the face of the Cowboys for you, but it's somebody better to be a GM than you, Jerry. Get out your own way, or you're going to see, look, the Cowboys going to be popular regardless win or lose, but if Jerry clearly want to win, he needs to get out the Cowboys.
Yeah, and if I'm speaking for all 31 other teams, they love it. They love it.
Yeah,
please stay the GM.
Please. I want him to stay the GM too.
Yes. Be a 100-year-old GM. We good with it. Yeah.
Speaking of money and players, we're going to get set. Brandon Aiyuk finally reached an agreement. 4-year, $120 million extension with the 49ers. W or L for you, Sean?
Oh, absolute W if you're the Niners. When you think about just the makeup of their team, Christian McCaffrey's not getting any younger, right? Obviously, George Kittle's in his 30s. Deebo Samuel is, probably not going to play much longer with the 49ers, just given their financial situation. And you got a young quarterback that you're getting ready to sign next season to a deal that some people believe will be close to the $60 million a season range. You want to tie a talented receiver to that young quarterback, and they are better on offense. Brock Purdy runs that offense better when Brandon Aiyuk is there. So it's a actual absolute W for the Niners. I'm glad Aiyuk got his money. He didn't have to leave to get his money. But it's an absolute W for the 49ers. Now, it's about to get real here for them after next season. It's about to get real. So it's about to get real. It's about to get real.
A lot of people finna be gone.
Yeah.
And I was just talking to one of my friends who's a Bears fan, and even I feel like this is a Chargers fan. I don't care how old he is right now. Keep an eye on Trent Williams because they ain't paid him yet. And I'm sorry, I will take Trent Williams in a heartbeat at the age he at right now. Slater and Trent Williams on side by side. Oh yeah, we good. I said the Bears. Hey, if I'm the Bears, the first thing I'm doing is call. Hey, what y'all ain't saying to Trent? Let's go ahead and get him in. He go a third. He go a third for Trent Williams right now. Yeah. But I think it's a W. Obviously, you got to keep your top receiver. When you had first sent me this story, Sean, I thought it said 140. And I had texted you, like, I know CD Lamb mad, and I relooked at them. I'm like, oh, and I had deleted it. Because I was like, how, Brent, now you get paid more than CD Lamb? I'd have been mad. But also, that plays a part in where you also need to quickly sign players. People, the NFL be trying to hold out. But sometimes you do need to do that because what if CD Lamb would have probably got like 150 or even higher. So now, Brandon, you might have been like, well, I at least need like 130. And that's why sometimes you want to knock out that deal early instead of too late because now, Brandon, you get signed what T. Higgins saying he won't then now. So you gotta knock that deal out. But speaking of Brandon Aiyuk, Sean, you sent me the story. I'll let you take the lead on this one. Broncos, Brandon, you ever signed the 49ers, but the Broncos is the main reason why the Steelers didn't land the wide receiver via trade.
Yeah, so
why did this
basically,
happen?
the story was that the Niners did not want to trade Brandon Aiyuk without getting a receiver back that they wanted. The Steelers were not willing to trade one of their receivers, and again, George Pickens is their best receiver. They were not willing to trade a receiver back. So a lot of times, again, what do? You try to get a third team involved. The Broncos, like they were trying to move players. Cortland Sutton, who is obviously with the Broncos, was in the conversation to be moved to San Francisco, but Broncos said no, they did not want to trade Cortland Sutton. So that's basically why the Steelers did not end up with Brandon Aiyuk. So it was just the game of musical chairs, and again for the Broncos not wanting to trade Cortland Sutton to the 49ers. Brandon Aiyuk obviously becomes more of a priority for the 49ers to keep.
And then also, like the Broncos and Steelers in the same conference. I'm not helping you. We in the same conference. Even though I know both of them probably not going to do good, and from what I see from my predictions, but we both don't got them doing good. But I still want to help my conference anyway. Speaking of another AFC team, Coach Mike McDaniel will have been extended to 2028. I think this was a W. I think that was good, well earned. I know we saw it before the show. I think he earned it though, Sean. What about you? How you feel about this?
I think time will tell if he earns it. Because two big issues. Yeah, the main reason why he got it was because of Tua, right? And they run a very, again, unique offense. And obviously their offense, he's a great offensive innovator. You certainly, when you have the guys put up the numbers that they put up in that offense, Tyreek, obviously Tua, Jalen Waddle, their running backs, A-Chain, those guys put up tremendous numbers. But unfortunately, this ain't a video game. They stink in December, and they've stunk in December under Mike McDaniel.
That's how when you go to the paradise weather every day, man. You go to like 60 degrees, feel like 30 degrees to them when you live in Miami all year.
Yeah. So the track is closed in December. So you better figure out what you do well in December. And again, I know a lot of people criticize Brian Flores, or whatever, because of the Tua situation. That team, the last 2 years under Brian Flores, won 19 games. Mike McDaniel has won 20 games in 2 years. So it's not like it's been this massive win-loss difference, right? It has not. It's just Tua has played well, and Tua has been a Pro Bowl and looked great under Mike McDaniel. Not taking anything away from that. But you're the head coach, right? So if your team stinks in December, I'm looking at you. Also, we understand you're an offensive genius, an offensive guru. Get it. Great. But you're the head coach. The defense not playing well, that's under you. You're the head coach. You're not an offensive coordinator. So get your defense right. Get your defense fixed. So time will tell if this is a good investment, but we know why he got the investment. Tua, the offense is explosive. The numbers, we get it. But you got to learn how to win in December. This is the NFL.
For me, the reason I think it was well earned because it was doubts of Tua. Like I can't deny the defensive problems in the December because, like I just said, the track is closed. Can't run it up. When you used to that paradise weather, you come here to Chicago. Like I said, it could be a 60-degree day. I could be outside with my hoodie on, but somebody who lives in Miami gonna be out here with a whole coat on and a scarf, baby, because you live in that paradise weather. But I think for the great job that he did with Tua, because Tua was really in question of might not be a starter, might be giving up on the guy. He turned that man into a Pro Bowler, and that's what you want to kind of do as a coach. You got to start with the most important position. I think he established the most important position because it was doubts with Tua. So I think it was well earned only because of the Tua point for me. We'll see how they do.
And I'll say this: their last 2 games this year are at Cleveland and at the New York Jets. So we'll see. We'll see.
They can lose both of them games too. I'm not gonna lie. They can lose both of them games too.
Yeah.
All right, obviously we got to talk about the GOAT. In your eyes, the GOAT. But obviously he is going to TV soon. But he's in the process to try to be a part owner of the Las Vegas Raiders. There's a problem because obviously when you part of a production team or staff, you go to certain places, locations, practices, get to the stadium early. You can see things you're supposed to be seeing or know things. So now they saying Brady might face TV restrictions if he become part owner of the Raiders because of that. What's your how you feel about this?
So just to explain to people what it is, I know we talk about some media stuff on here and things like that because obviously that's part of what we do with the sports story, right? I think a couple things to recognize. Number one, when you're a part of a broadcast team, meaning you're going to broadcast that particular game, you're at practice, basically from like, Wednesday, Thursday on, you're meeting with coaches, you're meeting with different guys, you're really getting ingratiated to, those teams during that time, during that week, as you're preparing for the broadcast that Sunday. It gives you inside access that the average person doesn't have. So a lot of times when you was to the 3-hour broadcast, they're not just talking about what happened during the game, they're also talking about what they saw during the week. Where this is going to be restrictive potentially for Tom Brady is there certain things he just won't be able to have access to once he's approved as a Raiders part owner, right? So how will this affect his ability to broadcast games? That will be interesting to see because, again, he is a part of a broadcast team. I was trying to look for an example of it back in the day. It was very difficult to find one. The closest one I could find was Magic Johnson. But Magic Johnson wasn't a part of the broadcast team. He was a part of the studio shows on TNT and later ESPN when he would do that, but he was a part owner of the Lakers, had part ownership of the Lakers. But he wasn't actually getting inside access to different teams and practices and franchise. So that's the difference. So it is going to be interesting to see how they, make the adjustment. And the other thing is he risks being fined.
Which could happen. They gonna fire you in a heartbeat.
Right, because one thing he can't do is criticize officials because ownership not allowed to do that. So it's a lot of different things that, it is going to be very interesting to see how he's going to navigate that minefield. Because again, he will have part ownership of the Raiders, but also he is operating as a broadcaster for Fox on their game coverage.
I think Brady, like how we just talked about Travis Hunter earlier in the show, with this situation, Brady gonna have to pick one. It's gonna be impossible to do both. Like you said, you can't necessarily criticize the officials. You can't be in certain situations because you part-time owner. And I think they kind of doubled down on it with Brady. It was like, yeah, we remember your Patriots days. We ain't gonna say you did that, but we remember the Patriots days to play gate,
Cheating. Yeah, cheating. Yeah.
Allegedly.
No, that wasn't allegedly.
Allegedly.
You don't tap your cell phone if you ain't do nothing wrong.
I mean, you can. He dropped it.
No, there wasn't no drop. That was a slam. All right.
Hey, look, man. If it ain't no video wax, I don't know what happened, man.
Yeah, no, that was a slam. No, he slammed that thing. Yeah,
man. But no, I just think about long story short, so we have to stress too much on this story that he just gonna have to just pick one. Do you want to broadcast or be an owner? I mean, I think it depends on what Brady really want to do because you can go back and own the team at any point in time, Brady, and you also come back and do TV at any point in time. But I say pick one. All right, guys, it's that time of the show. We got NFL predictions. The NFC gonna be first. Sean, you are up first. Let's put us in this mode right here. We're doing NFC predictions first. Sean, you're up first. Hold on, let me move the title out the way. And let me move this out the way too. Cool. This is Sean. And you see his signature on there. He signed it with his life. So he's sticking by this. All right, Sean, go ahead. Tell me about your NFC division predictions.
Just real quick, not to do a deep dive. I will tell you, doing these is never easy. I do think some of these divisions will have a little more parity than we realize. The NFC North was the hardest one, to be very honest with you, because I'll come back to that in a moment. But just start the NFC South. When you look at Atlanta, obviously they have gone out. They've gotten a quarterback, finally, in Kirk Cousins. And if Kirk Cousins just plays decent Kirk Cousins football with their defense that was 11th ranked last year, that added Matthew Judon, that added Justin Simmons in their secondary with 2 All-Pros back there, they're going to be really, really good. I think they win the NFC South. Tampa Bay, no slouch. Obviously, they won the division last year. I think they're going to still be a very competitive team. Just don't have them win the division, but I think they will be competing for a wild card spot in the NFC. Saints is going to be a down year. I'm already prepared for it. I have 0 expectations. I am waiting for Dennis Allen to be fired. We're just waiting. And so, can't wait for him to go. And Carolina did some great things in the offseason. Obviously, really wanted to upgrade the weapons around Bryce Young. Spent a lot of money upgrading the interior of their offensive line, $153 million to 2 guards. Tells me what they're trying to do. They're trying to protect Bryce Young. I'm not sure they're going to be as good as they were defensively last year. They were 4th in the NFL defensively. Not sure they're going to be that this year, but I do think they're going to be like a 5 or 6 win team, but I just have them coming up last in the NFC South. NFC East, Philadelphia. Nobody wins this division back to back. We know Dallas won it last year, basically at the end of the season, but I have Philadelphia winning the division. The addition of Saquon Barkley, bringing Chauncey Gardner-Johnson back. They're going to be really, really good. If Vic Fangio and Kellen Moore can fix the offenses and the defenses and just bring some stability to those units, they're going to be fine. And I expect Jalen Hurts to have a bounce back season. I think he's going to be healthier, and he's not going to have to do as much running with obviously the addition of Saquon Barkley. Dallas, I picked them second to win the division just because we know offensively and their passing game is going to be really explosive. Not sure about their running game. I do have questions about their offensive line. And then obviously changing defensive coordinators, with Dan Quinn going to Washington and that bringing in Mike Zimmer, what are they going to look like defensively? I think that's going to be a little bit of a work in progress, but I had them second in the division. Washington, I think, is going to be very competitive. Obviously with Jaden Daniels now as their quarterback. Kirk, why am I having a brain fart? Cliff Kingsbury, excuse me. Cliff Kingsbury, their new offensive coordinator, running that air raid system, a lot of spread, but they got to protect Jaden Daniels. They don't have the greatest offensive line. So, let's see, if they can protect Jaden Daniels. And then defensively, they can't do any worse than they did last year. They were the worst defense in the NFL, 32nd overall. They should get better. They brought in a lot of pieces, bringing in Bobby Wagner. I think is going to help them defensively. We know what he's done all these years in Seattle and in LA that 1 year, but they should be better. And the Giants, it's going to be a long season for the Giants. Let's just be very clear. They just be trying to compete for a top 5 pick. But that said, we should get some highlights from Malik Neighbors, and they got a really good defensive front four, but they just don't have a lot else that I'm like overly excited to see.
I feel bad for any quarterback that's going to get drafted by the Giants next year. Ears, because I heard Deion Sanders saying that he gonna make sure like Shador and Travis they're gonna pull Eli Manning. So I'm just going on to the next quarterback that I know, the guy from Texas, maybe. I hope Carson Beck. Oh my God, they gonna put Carson Beck in the next thing in the Giants. They're gonna ruin that man's career. But
yeah. Yeah.
NFC North next. What you got?
I'm going to go NFC West next.
Okay.
The NFC West, I have San Fran winning the division, but I think this is going to be a much closer division than I think people really realize. But I did pick the Niners to win the division. Obviously, getting Brandon Aiyuk back. But you mentioned earlier, SB, they got to get Trent Williams back. Trent Williams, to me, is their second most important player. And to me, he is their most important player in terms of their offensive line, primarily because they don't have a great offensive line, but he is so good. And they run to his side a lot. They average over 6 yards a carry when they run to the left. When he's out there, his ability to pull, block, he is super important. So they need to get him taken care of. But we'll see. And also, they're on their third defensive coordinator in 3 years. They fired Steve Wilkes and brought Nick Sorensen in to be their defensive coordinator. I'm not sure how they're going to look defensively. They've lost some pieces, but we'll see. How they look defensively, but I think they win the division. Seattle is a team nobody's really talking about, in my opinion. I really, really believe that Geno Smith in this new office, they got Washington's offensive coordinator, not the Commanders, but University of Washington offensive coordinator to be their offensive coordinator, and watch for the emergence of Jackson Smith and Jigba this season. I think you're going to see him step up and really become, that true complement, outside of DK Metcalf, and then you'll still see Tyler Lockett, be productive. But I think you're going to see the emergence of Jackson Smith and Jigba, and their running game. Kenneth Walker, Zach Charbonnet, two-headed monster at running game. I think they're going to be much better than people really believe. And Mike McDaniel, their new head coach who came from Baltimore as the defensive coordinator, he's going to get their defense to play much better. So I think they're going to be second in division. Rams, I know a lot of people are high on the Rams. I do have some question marks about the Rams, but I still think they'll be competitive just because it's the Rams. Big thing for them is obviously continued emergence of Puka Nacua. They're talking about they're going to use Kyron Williams, who's their starting running back, also at punt returner and kick returner. I don't know if that's the greatest idea, but, we'll see. And then also, defensively, they don't have a lot of big names. And obviously they got a big name that they're trying to fill in for now. Aaron Donald is gone. So, what are they going to look like defensively? And Raheem Morris, who quarterbacked that defense the last few years, is gone to Atlanta. And then Arizona's going to be very competitive. I think they're going to be very competitive. But I think they're
until October.
I think they're a year away. But that said, they're going to be very competitive. They played a lot of one-score games last year. Again, defensively is my biggest concern for them. But obviously, you get a full season of Kyler Murray until October, as you mentioned, SB, and then and we'll see what they do with some of those young guys on offense with obviously Marvin Harrison Jr., Trey McBride, Trey Benson, like some of their young pieces on offense.
Shout out Weaver too, that rookie Weaver from Colorado. He been killing.
Yeah. And then last but not least, the NFC North. This was the hardest division to pick. Honestly, I think Green Bay and Detroit could both win the same number of games. It would not shock me. I put the Packers slightly ahead of Detroit just because and it's only because I think Jordan Love has another level to get to. Jared Goff kind of is what he is, but I think Jordan Love has another level to his game that we haven't seen yet, and we're going to see it this season. And also they'll get some of their young receivers back. Healthy Christian Watson's back. We know Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, some of their young guys, Romeo Dobbs, they're going to do a receiver by committee. And Josh Jacobs is a really good upgrade for them at the running back position. So I just picked them to win the North. But Detroit is going to be right there. Big thing for Detroit is, again, not just they spent a lot of money, but how are they going to manage the expectations now? Because for some people, they came out of nowhere. If you've been watching Detroit the last 2 or 3 years, they've been building this for a while. How are they going to manage the expectations now that people see them as a legit Super Bowl contender? So I have Green Bay and Detroit right there, 1A, 1B. Chicago, the Bears, we know they're gonna be really explosive on offense. And if they can continue to complement offense, defense, that team's gonna be competing for a wild card. And Minnesota, just blow it up. Just blow it up.
Free Jetta.
Just blow it up. Just blow it up. Just blow it up. Yeah. So that's the NFC for me.
That's the NFC for sure. Basically, y'all drop y'all predictions. Make sure I'm definitely gonna post these either tomorrow morning or tonight after the show, so you guys can comment on me and Sean predictions. You got your boy SB. We a little bit different on certain things that's going on here. I think the only one that we hit the same on is NFC East. I believe we had that same order. I got Philly winning. So I'm gonna go that way first. I got Philly winning. I think Philly is the better team. I think Cowboys had a lot of crazy things going on with the team. Commanders not ready yet, but they moving in the right direction, and the Giants is trash. I knocked out the easiest one out the way. Let's go to. It was easy. It's not gonna make that quick. Actually, the NFC South, as much as I have been praising the Atlanta Falcons, doubling it back. Last year, people called me crazy, and I told y'all Tampa was gonna win. I'm doubling down. I believe more in Baker. Right now, I believe more in Baker Mayfield than Kirk Cousins on a bad foot. And I don't think, I said it. Right now, I believe more in Baker Mayfield than a Kirk Cousins on a bad leg. Now, if Kirk Cousins was healthy, I'm taking Kirk Cousins at the end of the day. And will Atlanta go all in and let Michael Penix, as I'm looking at that L and A, typing too fast on there, I'm gonna fix that. But if Michael Penix come in with the chance and opportunity that he has to be that guy, he looks good. Would they go away from Kirk Cousins as like an establishment? Because Michael Penix is their guy. But for me, I think Tampa Bay coming off a great year from last year. They got Baker. Baker established himself. They got weapons. A lot of new pieces came in from Atlanta, so I have to see it before I let them have the go ahead. The Saints, until they fire that coach and Derek Vickel stop being that quarterback, I ain't trusting them. And they lucky that the Carolina Panthers are just that bad, because then I would have probably had the Panthers higher than the Saints. NFC West, 49ers, obviously the best team in the division. Top to bottom, they do need to sign Trent Williams. I think that is a sign of concern. I honestly would have got Trent Williams' contract done before Brandon Aiyuk, honestly. But I understand you go with the younger option, and you have to go with that for that situation at that point in time. I'm actually going the Rams over the Seahawks. Obviously, new coaching. I got to see what the new coach do. I want to see if he's going to establish that defensive mindset, but also offensively, how are they going to look? With the Rams, I kind of see they got two weapons in the coop. Obviously, Cooper Kupp. You got a vet quarterback who's very great. The Rams showed promise last year, and everybody counted the Rams out. Obviously, it's question concern with the D-line, but for this situation with this division, I'm definitely seeing the Rams finishing more higher than the Seahawks and the Arizona Cardinals. Cardinals, great young talented team, not ready yet. And then when October comes, Kyler Murray is not going to play as good. So if Call of Duty would never return, and they added like the new movement where you can dive and shoot and all that, he ain't studying that playbook, Sean. I'm letting you know that right now. There's nothing on that playbook that's going to get studied at all. NFC North, we're going to have to definitely go with the Detroit Lions winning it again. And I actually got the Chicago Bears with a second over the Green Bay Packers, because you brought up something that was a nice point, where when nobody expected the Lions to be as good as they were, so people going to be prepared to play. Nobody did the same thing for Jordan Love either, because Jordan Love finished the season outstandingly. But I'm the only person who didn't remember the first half of the season or what happened during that first half. People forget. People was questioning if he was going to keep his job. And he turned up. So now, what can you do, Jordan Love, when everybody's expected for you and ready for you to be prepared for you to play? And it's still question marks on that defense, too. I think with the Chicago Bears being a great offensive team, which they're going to have a splash offensively, I think that's what they were missing last year. Their defense showed great promise when they got Sweat. Now, Sweat coming with a full training camp with the Bears, I think he's going to do a great job. Defense is going to be solid. But the only problem the Bears had was, can they execute when the defense get a stop? And now I think when you add a Caleb Williams, add a Keenan Allen, you add a Swift, you add those pieces where you're going to put up points. So now I think the Bears take advantage of it. And then obviously the Minnesota Vikings, that without no quarterback, they are done. Now, Sean, we got to go to the AFC.
You do your AFC first.
Okay, I could go AFC first. Let's go ahead, dude. We're going to go SB's AFC first. Let's move it out the way. Obviously, later in the show, not later in the show, our next prediction at the AFC, we do awards. I was going to do AFC South. I got the Houston Texans. I think the Houston Texans going to double down and have a better year. And that guy that's their head guy, their quarterback, going to have a spectacular year. And I think their coach is going to do a great job and double down on the year that he has. They added more pieces of offense. They looking better defensively. I think they're going to even play better than they did defensively. But offensively, I think with adding the Joe Mixon, the Stephon Diggs, Tank Dell coming back, you have different aspects where this team can attack you directly. But the man C.J. Stroud has been the truth. Been the truth all last year. I'm not going to change from that. I'm going to stick with C.J. Stroud. I have big plans, and he going to have big gold in his trophy cabinet after this season. Then I go Jacksonville Jaguars. I like Trevor Lawrence always, even though he was supposed to be the next great guy. He's still looking like a solid quarterback. But I just think this division just belongs to the Texans. But I still see the Jacksonville Jaguars being a contender. I got the Tennessee Titans as third team in the division. Question marks offensively. I know they have the guy from Kentucky as a starting guy. He ain't getting his name called. And it's just a joke to my friends who watch from Kentucky. Shout out y'all. I just won with Kentucky in our college football league too, which is funny just to stick it to him even more. But until he actually showed me something, his name would not be called. He'd just be the guy from Kentucky. I want to see him establish himself. I know they made a lot of decent little moves, but until I actually see a production on the field with him, because it's going to start from him, especially no Derrick Henry, let's see what you do. But I still got them finishing third. And the Colts, only thing concerned, and I'm high on the Colts. I just don't want to fall in this trap again with the Colts. With Anthony Richardson, I want the Colts to finish higher than fourth. I don't want the Colts to finish last, but I have to have my good sport mindset, my good mindset where I'm like, okay, well, him and Jonathan Taylor going to do is Anthony Richardson going to stop being reckless, because his talent is amazing. And they did a good job drafting a rookie, Latu. And I think he's going to do a good job. I think the defense is going to play better. I really wanted to put the Titans last, but I only put the Colts last just because of injury concern. But if I had to redo this and switch this, I would probably put the Colts third. But the only thing concerning me is injury concerns. Let's do the AFC North next. Obviously, Baltimore Ravens is the best team in that division. Even though this is the best division in football, every team in this list has a chance to win a division. Yes, even the Pittsburgh Steelers, because Mike Tomlin always finds a way to win games if his will is away. But I got the Baltimore Ravens coming out again. You got Lamar Jackson at Derrick Henry. I think that option and that switch up is going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy work. Obviously, I got the Cleveland Browns finishing second only because of the concerns of quarterback with Deshaun Watson and the injury to Nick Chubb. I think defensively, they're still going to be one of the best teams, might be the best defensive team in football. But if Deshaun Watson could come and just play healthy and be average, I possibly win the division. I win second. Joe Burrow coming back off an injury. Let's see if he actually be good, be healthy. They lost a couple pieces, especially on the defensive side of the ball. I do not trust the defensive side of the ball. Now, I don't trust their run game. That's the reason why I put them in third. Let's see what they do on the offensive side, because Joe Burrow will have to score a lot of points, so they're not going to win, Sean. Pittsburgh Steelers, obviously quarterback concerns. I'm never concerned about their defense. Is Russell Wilson and Justin Fields that's highly concerned about me. New York Jets, I think they're going to bounce back. Defense is going to be better. They coming back fully healthy. Breece Hall is back healthy. Aaron Rodgers is going to be back and healthy. I got big gold coming from him in the trophy case. I got the Dolphins, even though I know everybody not high on to in December, but guess what? They're going to finish second because they're going to win majority of their games before it get cold. Tyreek Hill going to have another spectacular year, MVP caliber year. I'm expecting for Tyreek Hill. Tua going to show his money worth. Buffalo Bills, I'm definitely not high on. I like Coleman, but I don't think their defense is going to hit the same. They lost pieces on defense. is the Buffalo Bills going to run the ball enough? I don't trust it at all. The Patriots are clearly in rebuild mode, so not too much talk about. Kansas City Chiefs, they got Patrick Mahomes. We're not going to argue that. They going for a three-piece, still got Chris Jones in their defense. They did lost Snead. Snead went to the Titans, which is a big loss, but I think they will be fine. Big year for my Los Angeles Chargers. I think our defense is going to end up being a top 10 defense under Mr. Harbaugh. No more dumb plays. No more going for a fourth down on the 4th and 20. Herbert going to be back healthy. Obviously, one of the best quarterbacks in this division. The second best quarterback to Patrick Mahomes. Obviously, one of the best quarterbacks in this conference. Either way you want to put it. Vegas Raiders, I'm not that high on them at all. I don't expect nothing for them. The Broncos, I'm not expecting nothing to happen for them. Keep it short and simple. Sean, your AFC prediction goes as follows, and why?
So I think the only division we shared similarities on was the AFC West. So yeah, obviously you have the Chiefs, champs. They are the standard in that division. Chargers will be better under Jim Harbaugh. Obviously expect them to be very much a ball control team. Not asking Justin Herbert to be Superman every week and go out and win, and that'll help protect their defense because again, there are some pieces on their defense that will be very good. Obviously, with Bosa, we still have Khalil Mack, still have Derwin James on the back end as well. Asante Samuel Jr. So I think they're going to be a ball control. They're going to be a team. They just want to control time of possession and protect that defense as much as possible. So I have them second in the division. I have the Raiders third in the division. Obviously, I know there some questions about Gardner Minshew. They can win games with Gardner Minshew. Now, they won't win games because of Gardner Minshew, to be clear. They can win games with Gardner Minshew. As long as he does his job, they'll be fine. And I will say this. They have a young tight end by the name of Brock Bowers. Watch out for this young tight end. He could be that next great Raiders tight end that we're accustomed to seeing, in that black and silver. Watch out for him. Big thing for them defensively. Tyree Wilson, their first round pick last year on the other side of Max Crosby. Got to get something from him. And I think they're going to play hard. They're going to play. They'll play tough for Antonio Gibson. But again, I just think they're third. They're clearly behind the Chiefs and the Chargers in the division. The Broncos, they're starting Bo Nix. So that's easy for me. That's simple for me. You started Bo Nix. You got nothing. Okay, you got nothing. All right.
Not Bo Nix.
Yeah, you got nothing. All right. I saw 61 starts from Bo Nix, a lot of them at Auburn. I know what it is. All right. You got nothing. All right. You got nothing. Okay. All right. We can move on. AFC East. I had the Jets winning the division. I think this is going to be a very good season for the Jets, particularly. Obviously, everyone's going to talk about Aaron Rodgers. All they need Aaron Rodgers to do is just to play competent football, right? Play non-Zach Wilson football, right? And their offense should run through Breece Hall. And, and obviously, we know about Garrett Wilson. They get Mike Williams from the Chargers on the other side of Garrett Wilson. I think he's going to be a very good red zone threat for them. And their offensive line is improved. Again, big thing is, keeping Tyron Smith healthy. We know when Tyron Smith is healthy, he's still one of the better left tackles in the game. And obviously, their big thing is they play complementary football, right? Make sure the offense is complementing the defense because we know that defense is going to be really, really good. I have Buffalo actually coming up second in the division. I know a lot of people are down on Buffalo. I'm still believe Buffalo is going to be very, very competitive. And only because they understand what they are now, right? They are going to be a team that's going to really try to be very balanced offensively. Again, James Cook is going to be a big part of what they do. And those two, I call them the two DKs, right? The two tight ends, Dawson Knox and Dalton Connect. Those two got, is it Connect? No. Anyway, Dalton Kincaid. I'm sorry. I'm thinking about I'm thinking about the dude from the Lakers. Dalton Kincaid. Connecting Kincaid and Knox. They're gonna be in a lot of 12 personnel. They're gonna use those two tight ends, and then obviously kind of use their receivers more complimentary. Shakir, Curtis Samuel, Keon Coleman, obviously their rookie. I think they're gonna be very, very, very good. And it's going to be a lot of people going to look at the Stephon Diggs loss. I think it's going to be addition by subtraction for them with the loss of Stephon Diggs. They're going to actually be more balanced without Stephon Diggs. And then I have Miami coming up third. Again, I have serious questions about their defense. Their two leading pass rushers got hurt last year. How are they going to come back? They have a new defensive coordinator. How's their defense going to look under that? How much does Jalen Ramsey have left in the tank? Big question for me. I like their safeties. They did get, safety from from Buffalo as well. I do like their safeties, but I just have questions about their defense. I'm just not too high on their defense. And Christian Wilkins, who went to the Raiders, a lot of people aren't talking about the loss. He was very good for them the last few years. What are they going to look like without Christian Wilkins up front? So I got them finishing third. And the Patriots, again, this is just a rebuild year for the Patriots. We understand, what they're trying to do. Very smart move by Gerard Mayo, starting Jacoby Brissett, because they're not ready to start Drake May. There's nothing against Drake May. It's just that team is not built ready to start Drake May. And you don't want your young quarterback getting killed early on. Not that you want to see Jacoby Brissett get killed, but he's a veteran. He'll understand how to get rid of the ball. He'll understand how to protect himself, things of that nature. So it made a great deal of sense for them to start Jacoby Brissett. But obviously, again, this is a building year for the Patriots, so I haven't finished in fourth. AFC South, Houston, obviously, they are loaded on both sides of the football. They are absolutely freaking loaded. They should be better. They should be better, but they're not going to sneak up on anybody. But they should absolutely be better. The moves they made in the offseason, upgrading their roster while they have CJ Stroud on the rookie contract, absolutely brilliant. And again, big thing for them is guys buying into DeMeco Ryans and what DeMeco Ryans is selling. You do it for the team. And, and if you hear all the reports about that team, everybody's buying in. So I expect Houston to run away with the AFC South. I have Tennessee coming in second in the AFC South. I like Tennessee a lot. I know a lot of people are questioning Will Levis. He actually played really solid football last year once he got comfortable. Now they've upgraded, adding Calvin Ridley. Eventually you get DeAndre Hopkins back, adding Tyler Boyd. They're going to change their running game's changing. They're going to a little more quicker, running game in that system with Tony Pollard and with Tajay Spears. And then defensively, they're going to be really solid defensively. So I have them finishing second in the division. I got Jacksonville coming up third. Again, my big questions for Jacksonville, who's going to emerge as that number one target for Trevor Lawrence. Calvin Ridley's no longer there. They brought in Gabe Davis from Buffalo. Certainly you drafted Brian Thomas from LSU. I think Brian Thomas is going to be a really good player for them, as he, gets comfortable in the NFL. But I think they are, took a little bit of a step back from me in that division. So I got them finishing third. And like you, SB, I had the Colts finishing fourth. Again, I want to see the Colts do better. My big questions are, the growth of Anthony Richardson. Didn't play a lot of games last year, only played 4 games last year. He's going to still need some time to grow, particularly as a thrower of the football. And can they get Jonathan Taylor back on track? Because he hasn't been on track for the last couple seasons. So I got them finishing fourth. And AFC North, last but not least, again, this is a very tough division to pick. This is the toughest division in football. If you don't know, Baltimore, it's a beast division. But I have Baltimore finishing first just because I have less question marks about Baltimore. Again, I know we talk about a team that's going to use 2 tight end sets a lot. Watch out for them using more 2 tight end sets with Isaiah Likely on the other side of Mark Andrews. they're going to be dangerous. And dangerous is going to look very different for them because when they're in those two tight end sets, you don't know if it's run or pass. And obviously the addition of Derrick Henry is just going to make them more formidable. And they have the defending MVP. You know, they're just going to be really formidable. Big thing for them is, you know, up front, Ronnie Stanley, you know, got to be healthy. Ronnie Stanley, they paid Ronnie Stanley a lot of money. He hadn't been healthy. He's got to stay healthy. And then Tyler Linderbaum, their center, he's the next great NFL center. You know, if you've watched him the last couple of years, he's going to be really good for them. So I got Baltimore first. Cleveland, I got coming up second. With Cleveland, it's really one big question. It's, you know, Deshaun Watson staying healthy, staying on the field, not necessarily being 2020 Deshaun Watson or 2019 Deshaun Watson. It doesn't necessarily have to be that because they've proven with what they built, he's just got to be good. He don't have to be Superman. And if he's really good, they're going to be right there fighting for that division. And to me, they're a lock to make the playoffs if healthy. I got Pittsburgh coming in third. I know a lot of people looking at the quarterback situation and blah, blah, blah. It's that defense that will keep them in a lot of games. And I know they chose Russell Wilson to be the starter. Again, I was pushing more for Justin Fields, but I think for them right now, Russell makes sense. And if Russell doesn't play well to start the season or they're not doing a lot offensively, then they can make the switch to Justin Fields. No love lost. So, but I have them finishing third. And then Cincinnati's fourth. I know a lot of people are high on Cincinnati. I'm not as high on Cincinnati. Number one, I don't know what their running game is going to look like. Very big question marks for me in their running game. And Washington was the worst defense last year. Just above them was Cincinnati in total defense. They were 31st in total defense. I don't see them how they're going to really improve upon that, short of Joe Burrow just, again, protecting the defense and keeping the defense on the sideline. But I think there's going to be a very tight division. All these teams can finish within 1 or 2 games of each other in the division, and it wouldn't shock me.
I 100% agree on that because that division was hard for me to pick too because I was locked in on Ravens, Browns, the Steelers, and the Bengals one. I went back and forth on that a couple times. Now, Sean, we gotta go do the awards. I'll go first on the awards, and I'll let you close it out. Obviously, SB predictions for the first time this year. I did go with the Justin Herbert pick for my MVP. I finally went with a different MVP. Maybe if I go with somebody different, maybe my boy actually win the award. But Shar, my MVP of this season will be CJ Stroud in Houston, Texas. I think they added all the pieces to make the situation better on both sides of the ball. And I'm sorry, even if CJ Stroud come and just do exactly what he did last year, but the defense played 2 times better and they win more games, you know who get all the credit? The quarterback. So I got CJ Stroud. I expect the Texans to be at top of the AFC fighting for the number 1 seed in the conference, and CJ Stroud will be the head person leading that charge. Offensive player of the year. I got to go Tyreek Hill again. I'm expecting a big year for Tyreek Hill. I think McDaniel's going to run the same type of offense, even though they try to change the rule about the movement. But I'm sorry, when you got guys, Daniel Tyreek Hill, where you could do a jet sweep, you could do a slant, and it could be an 80-yard run to the crib. I always got to go with that guy. He's going to be electric. He done made Tua and McDaniels look a lot better than what they supposed to be. I ain't going to say they trap, but when you got Tyreek Hill, it's easy to look good. Because they even doubted Patrick Mahomes when he had Tyreek Hill. They would just say, man, he got Tyreek. That's why he looks so good. Defensive player of the year. I'll go with Myles Garrett. It's time to give my boy it's time. TJ the guy he is already. Myles Garrett has been a force on that defensive side of the ball for the Cleveland Browns all the time. He go get to your quarterback. He go stuff the run. I got the Cleveland Browns being the top 5 defense. It's mainly going to be because Myles Garrett.
Don't forget he won the Defensive Player of the Year last year.
Oh, he did win it last year. No, I thought they gave it to TJ.
No, he won. No, he won last year.
I see something, and I was like, I was kind of mad about it because I'm like, bro, why Miles didn't win it? I think I read it must have been like a wrong article, whatever. Cool. Because I could have saw. I remember they gave it to TJ again, and I got mad last year, but it's cool. Well, we going back to back there because I still think if you talking about the impact on the defensive side of the ball, Deshaun Watson being out, Chubb being out, Myles Garrett impact on defense kept them boys involved. I'm going offense rookie of the year. By far, I think it'll be C. Williams. I think we got to go big Caleb. It's big C. Williams. I think Caleb Williams is going to be by far the best quarterback from the rookies. Obviously, offensive player, rookie of the year. Quarterback probably go get the nod first unless some receiver do something crazy. I highly doubt it. Most popular guy, most guy with the opportunities, and he got the weapons to be successful. I'm going Caleb Williams. For defensive rookie of the year, I was kind of questioning this one because I didn't really iffy on the rookie defensive people this year. Usually 9 times out of 10, maybe a pass rusher might get it. So I went with Latua, the Indianapolis Colts. I think he's going to get a great opportunity to play a lot on the defensive side of the ball, and I think he's going to put up a lot of great numbers. Not too much to go into it because I'm questioning. That's the only one I really was like iffy on, so I'm not going to go too much in detail on that one. Coach of the year, obviously you see the background. It's solidly signed. You see the Sbtalksports. The autograph is there. We go with Jim Harbaugh. Los Angeles Chargers. He go bring the Chargers back to relevancy. He go show us. He go just get out the fact that we just not going to be doing dumb stuff. And it just be like, oh, my God. They just won the game because they didn't go for 4th and 20 on their own 20 or 4th and 10. But he go have Herbert looking better. Our defense, which we need a real good voice on defense because we got the actual talent on defense where you got Derwin James, you got a Khalil Mack, you got a Joey Bosa, and you have a hard time getting to the quarterback. It's crazy. And they're also going to establish the run game to make it easier for Justin Herbert to make plays. And comeback player of the year, I was stuck between Joe Burrow and Aaron Rodgers, but I had to think about it. Like, come on, it's the NFL. They care about popularity. And I got the Jets winning their division. Aaron Rodgers go by far. They're going to give him comeback player of the year. Aaron Rodgers, comeback player of the year. This is SB's award predictions for the year. And it's flawless. It is a real take, not a fake debate. Sean, your award predictions are as follows. What you got?
So I know we talked about this before the show, SB. You had questions about my MVP choice.
Oh, yeah, you got to explain that first. I need to hear that right now because Josh Allen is crazy.
So let me ask you a question, SB. Is there a quarterback that the media loves more who has not won the MVP more than Josh Allen?
No, CJ Stroud took a seat, man. He missed.
No. I'm saying that the media loves.
I ain't gonna force it. Yeah, they love Josh. I ain't gonna force
it.
They
love Josh, and
I'll try to force it.
Yeah. This is gonna be I ain't gonna say the name. This is gonna be an MVP that is given because he's gonna have a really good year. I'm not saying he's not gonna have a good year, but it's gonna be because he has never won an MVP. And it's a travesty that he has never won an MVP. I'm speaking how the media thinks. And so, that guy in Baltimore got 2, that guy in Kansas City got 2. This is how I'm telling you the media. I'm just telling you the media that's how they are, is Josh Allen.
I'm just saying, you know who Josh Allen is, Sean? And you just gotta, it's hurt for me to even say this. Josh Allen is this generation Phillip Rivers. That's all it is. That's all he is. He's this generation Phillip Rivers. Yeah,
you might be right.
That's all he is.
You might be right. But no, and again, this was not me. This was me thinking, how is the media going to see? Because I was back and forth. Like, it was like 2 or 3 guys. Because again, I thought about CJ, and again, the season he had last year and elevating to another level. Jordan Love was certainly in the conversation as well. But those guys are young guys who, still proving their worth and their mettle. For them, is Josh Allen has never won, has never been named MVP. He's been, for them, the greatest thing ever. You have the antis of the world calling him Jesus Allen and craziness like that. How was the media gonna, vote this year? and it's going to be. And also when they lost Stephon Diggs, it's a little like when KD left OKC and went to Golden State, and it's like, oh, you left Russ there by himself, and that's how I was thinking about this MVP. So I have Josh Allen win the MVP because that's how I think the media is going to think about it. That's all. Okay. Offensive player of the year.
Still a bad pick.
No. I didn't love it. I'm just telling you how I think the media is going to see it. And again, we got plenty of time before these awards are named. We're going to see, because I'm telling you right now, if they have a good year in Buffalo and Josh Allen is out there doing Josh Allen things, it's going to be, you're going to hear the media just pumping it, and they're going to be pumping it. I'm telling you, just wait. Just wait.
I'm going to wait, see, but go ahead.
Offensive player of the year, I have Bijan Robinson from Atlanta. I think Bijan Robinson is going to get 400 touches this year, carries and receptions. He is, whenever he has the football in his hands, obviously, great things will happen. You're going to see them feature him more in that offense. Again, I think very similar to, and again, a little bit of a throwback to how Todd Gurley was used and with the Rams. Mm-hmm. So I think Bijan Robinson, I have him as my offensive player of the year. Defensive player of the year, Kyle Hamilton from Baltimore.
I like your people. I mean, because my background get a lot, but I like that. I like that Bijan pick though. I like that Bijan pick.
Yeah, appreciate that. Kyle Hamilton, my defensive player of the year from Baltimore. He is, watching him, and I know this is going to sound sacrilegious, but he is a combination of Ed Reed and Troy Polamalu to me. He is all over the place making plays. He is always around the football. When Baltimore drafted him, I was like, listen, they got another steal. And at the end of the day, I think he is the next DPOY to be Baltimore Raven. Offensive Rookie of the Year, I have Marvin Harrison Jr. If anything, if all holds true, he has been cutting up in camp. I expect him to do the exact same thing come the regular season. He could set potentially some rookie reception and receiving yards records. Going to be hard to do the touchdowns because Randy Moss, I believe, has 17 as a rookie, but I think he could definitely put up some numbers as a rookie that we've probably never seen outside of touchdowns. Defensive Rookie of the Year, this was a little tough. Kind of looking around, this was not a year, this draft did not have that highly touted rookie drafted high in the top 5 or top 10. But Quinyon Mitchell from Philadelphia, the cornerback, I think he, on the other side of Darius Slay, particularly with, some injuries to James Bradbury, I think he was the best corner in the draft for a lot of people. Again, Philadelphia getting him was an absolute steal. I think he could be one of those, corners that has a really good year as a rookie. So I just picked Quinyon Mitchell. Coach of the Year, I had Raheem Morris from Atlanta. I have Atlanta as a playoff team. And if Atlanta makes the playoffs in the first year under Raheem Morris, I have them as the coach of the year. And my comeback player of the year is Anthony Richardson. I expect Anthony Richardson from a fantasy perspective to be a top 5 fantasy quarterback. But I don't think it'll lead to a lot of wins. And the thing about comeback player is you ain't got to win a lot of games. You just got to have a good season. So if he's in that, and I'm just throw out this number, if he's in that 3,500 yard, 1,000-yard rushing, 35 total touchdown conversation, I think he's comeback player of the year.
Sean, I actually like your list besides that Josh Allen, but I think everyone was solid.
I told you it's the media. I'm telling you, I listen and I listen to how people who vote for the MVP, how they think. And they love Josh Allen. They love this dude.
Yeah, they do. Josh Allen is the Russell Westbrook for them, the quarterback's quarterback. But this has been another great episode of Real Takes Up the Page. We're going to see the predictions. How does it go? We're going to see if we right or wrong. Obviously, we're going to hold the truth for a year. And the NFL season coming back up, so you will get your guys' favorite point of the show was the picks of the week. We bringing the picks of the week back. Sean won last year, but we definitely finna come back this year. We getting it back in blood this year. We come back. We gonna get it back. We gonna get it back. Thank you, Swift Energy, for sponsoring the show. This has been another great episode of Real Takes Over Fake Debates from SB, Sean, and we will see you guys on the.
Have a safe holiday weekend, y'all. Please have a safe holiday weekend.
Have a safe holiday weekend. I'm going to Granny house to get some food, brother. I'm going to get my grill on. But see you guys later. Peace.
Rucker Man.